Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. V'al Yerushalayim v'al kol amo. V'al Yerushalayim shalom. V'al Yerushalayim v'al kol amo. V'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael.
Magnificent as always, Gary. Oh my gosh, you know what you did?
Toda rabba achi.
I swear, you harmonize with your guitar so well. I don't know if you noticed that your vocals and your guitar harmonize perfectly. I mean, I don't think I've experienced that with anyone else. And
God bless you.
oh,
God bless you.
God
My
bless.
Zilba Beetle brother, coming from you. I'm going to get emotional soon. Wait, where's the tissue around? I need a box of tissue.
You get a tissue. I'm verklempt.
Yeah, that's right.
Verklempt. What
Getting misty.
the TTI background's up, right? Is that what you have behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You like that?
That's beautiful. What year was that built? That's like kind of modern, right?
1955.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing. So tonight I wanted to share one thing before we get started. Can you see that?
Ah,
You recognize that, Cynthia?
roller coaster is before my time.
Really? So you never saw that? That was in the 30s. All right. So
Yeah.
let me go. Whoop, not that way. Let me go through. You recognize those?
Hurley Stradlers. I rode those horses many times.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Excellent horsewoman.
You were what?
Too.
You did too? This
Yeah.
is great.
I was a little girl once, remember?
And then what else do we have? Okay, more roller coaster. That's probably your mom.
Was that the cyclone? Yeah.
That was the lightning bolt. That's the lightning bolt.
Oh, the
That was
lightning
before
bolt.
my
Oh.
time. Yeah.
Oh, that was before my time then, yeah.
Oh, and
The
here's an
cyclone
aerial.
came after that, yeah.
Here's an aerial. Does this look familiar? Or is it? Well, there's one other shot. Let me see. Oh yeah,
Very nice.
the dancing.
Yeah, that was the ballroom. There was a Wonderland ballroom.
Oh, I can zoom in. Okay, good.
That's the dancing. I think that was the Wonderland ballroom. I'm not sure.
Oh, really? That was.
That's
Yeah.
also before my time. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
then it wasn't the Wonderland ballroom. The Wonderland ballroom was when I was around, so that was
Yeah.
different. Okay.
My
okay,
mother told me she used to work all day at the Boston City Hospital and then dance all night at the ballroom in the 20s.
like
You know,
that,
the days
Mom.
of those.
I love that, Mom.
Alba wants to get together.
I want to get together with that mom.
Yeah.
yeah.
She is my kind of mom.
All right. Now we're up to Leviticus chapter 9. Who wants to read this evening?
You know what? Let me start only because I may have to leave early because I still have some work to do.
Oh, okay. By all
When you're
means.
my age and you have a mini job, you don't want to aggravate them and you want to do the job.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm in your boat too.
So I'll read now. On the 8th day, Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, Take a calf of the herd for a purgation offering and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish, and bring them before the Eternal. And speak to the Israelites, saying, take a he-goat for a purgation offering, a calf and a lamb, yearlings without blemish for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for an offering of well-being to sacrifice before the Eternal, and a meal offering with oil mixed in, for today the Eternal was appeared to you. They brought to the front of the tent of meeting the things that Moses had commanded, and the community leadership came forward and stood before the Eternal. Moses said, this is what the Eternal has commanded that you do, that the presence of the Eternal may appear to you. Then Moses said to Aaron, come forward to the altar and sacrifice your purgation offering and your burnt offering. Make expiation for yourself and for the people, and sacrifice the people's offering and make expiation for them, as the Eternal has commanded. Aaron came forward to the altar and slaughtered his calf of purgation offering. Aaron's sons brought the blood to him. He dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar, and he poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. The fat, the kidneys, and the protuberance of the liver from the purgation offering he turned into smoke on the altar, as the Eternal had commanded Moses, and the flesh and the skin were consumed in fire outside the camp. Then he slaughtered the burnt offering. Aaron's sons passed the blood to him, and he dashed it against all sides of the altar. They passed the burnt offering to him in sections, as well as the head, and he turned it into smoke on the altar. He washed the entrails and the legs and turned them into smoke on the altar with the burnt offering. Next, he brought forward the people's offering. He took the goat for the people's purgation offering and slaughtered it, and presented it as a purgation offering like the previous one. He brought forward the burnt offering and sacrificed it according to regulation. He then brought forward the meal offering, and taking a handful of it, he turned it into smoke on the altar, in addition to the burnt offering of the morning. He slaughtered the ox and the ram, the people's sacrifice of well-being. Aaron's sons passed the blood to him, which he dashed against every side of the altar, and the fat part of the ox and the ram, the broad tail, the covering fat, the kidneys, and the protuberances of the liver. They laid these fat parts over the breasts, and Aaron turned the fat parts into smoke on the altar, and elevated the breasts and the right thighs as an elevation offering before the Eternal, as Moses has commanded. Aaron lifted his hands toward the people and blessed them, and he stepped down after offering the purgation offering, the burnt offering, and the offering of well-being. Moses and Aaron then went inside the tent of meeting. When they came out, they blessed the people, and the presence of the Eternal appeared to all the people. Fire came forth from before the Eternal and consumed the burnt offering and the fat parts on the altar. And all the people saw and shouted and fell on their faces. Now Aaron's son, Nadab and Abihu, each took his fire pan and put fire in it and laid incense on it. And they offered before the Eternal alien fire, which had not been enjoined upon them. And the fire came forth from the Eternal and consumed them. Thus they died at the instance of the Eternal. Then Moses said to Aaron, this is what the Eternal meant by saying,
Okay.
through
Yeah.
those near.
Let's hold on here for a minute. Okay, so if you read this thing, 10:1, Nadab and Abihu were consumed because they did this thing called alien fire, but nobody knew what alien fire was, and there were no restrictions on it, yet both of Aaron's sons died. This is a very strange paragraph.
Absolutely. It's and I think it's
They
probably
were given, but they were given specific instructions though about how the incense was to be made.
No. The instructions came later. In here, all of a sudden it's called alien fire, but there were no specific instructions either for or against it.
okay.
So,
Now here's a
it's-
little explanation underneath. It
Okay.
says, not from the divine flame that had descended on the altar.
Uh-huh.
I don't know exactly what that.
But they didn't do it like on behalf of offering a sacrifice. It was their own personal, like, in
Offering?
other words, they had just gotten finished given the instructions, like, for the offerings and everything. And, like, the first thing they do is immediately afterwards, they do something like on their own.
Right. Right, because wasn't it
God
last
didn't-
week that we just learned about the way to mix the things? How it's supposed to be an anointing oil, or I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but
That's
we
what
did
I
talk
thought,
about,
the
yeah, the
incense and
incense,
the-
yeah. The incense, yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So they went on their own without, in other words, God had given them the instructions like they do in the sacrifices they were commanded to do. They weren't commanded to do this.
Okay, well, so if we read just a little bit beyond that, you know, it says, you know, Moses says to Aaron that this is what the Eternal said by saying, you know, whatever that is, I lost 2 sons, and Aaron was silent.
Right.
So Aaron didn't say anything.
Mm,
A very strange part of the Bible.
But
right.
there must be an explanation in the Talmud about it.
Oh,
'cause
you
that's
think
what they
about
would
it though,
do.
if losing his 2 sons, like you're kind of speechless. What can you say? You know, you're kind of left with not much to say. You might scream.
Right. And I
Hard
think
to
this,
get religious inspiration from some of this, that's for sure.
right. And I think that also, do you remember, it might have been 2 weeks back, we talked about how important it was for people to wash their hands, wash their feet, and, you know, just be prepared, right? And I think there might be some of this, in sometimes meditations, people who do deep meditation, if they're not totally prepared, things could go kind of wrong for them. That's what I've read.
You know, I was also, I had once read a commentary about, how do I say it? God didn't require them to do this or instruct them to do it. In other words, say if there's something that I can do for you that makes me happy doing it, or something I can give you that makes me happy giving it to you. But say the thing that I want to do is of absolutely no use to you, and maybe even, you know, something negative to you, or the thing I want to give you is something negative. So I might be showing like, oh, I'm going to do this for Mike, or any, you know, whoever, and you can say, oh, Gary's such a good guy, look what he's doing. But if I'm doing something for you that you don't really have any need for or a want for, and I do it, then I'm just doing it for myself. That's kind of like what they did.
That's a
Okay,
good
but
point. I
that-
like that. I like that point. Right. It's kind
Okay,
of a,
but Gary,
You
is
have
that-
to you have to identify a person's need before you can help them. If
Okay.
somebody asks you for help and you, without hesitation, help them, that's great. But if somebody doesn't ask you and you start doing all these things, and that could be a problem.
mhm.
okay,
And that's
but
what I
does
think is an element.
does that deserve death of 2 sons?
Not necessarily, but they're held to a higher standard because they're priests. They were the ones to go up on Mount Sinai right behind Aaron and Moses, right? That was a pretty lofty. They were held to a very high standard, and they had just been given instructions for 7 days. And on the 8th day, right after the sacrifices, the first thing they do is something they weren't instructed to do. I don't know.
Mhm.
They were made an example.
Did we read that did we read the quote from what Moses was saying? Is that where we're at? Cynthia, do you want to keep going through those near to me?
And Aaron was silent. That's the end of that.
Through those near to me, I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people. And Aaron
And
was,
Aaron was silent. Yeah. Okay.
he
We
wants to
finished
pick it
that.
up at 4. Yeah, Aaron was.
I'll pick it up if you'd
Okay.
like.
Sure.
Moses called, wait a minute, I have to make it bigger. This is so small. Okay, here we go. Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, sons of Uziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, come forward and carry your kinsmen away from the front of the sanctuary to a place outside the camp. They came forward and carried them out of the camp by their tunics, as Moses had ordered. And Moses said to Aaron and to his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, do not bare your heads and do not rend your clothes, lest you die and anger strike the whole community. But your kin, all the house of Israel, shall bewail the burning that the Eternal has wrought. And so do not go outside the entrance of the tent of meeting, lest you die. For the Eternal's anointing oil is upon you. And they did as Moses had bidden. That's very important. You wouldn't want to die. And the Eternal One spoke to Aaron, saying, drink no wine or other intoxicant, you or your sons, when you enter the tent of meeting, that you may not die. This is a law for all time throughout the ages. For you must distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the impure and the pure. And you must teach the Israelites all the laws which the Eternal has imparted to them through Moses. Moses spoke to Aaron and to his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar. Take the meal offering that is left over from the Eternal's offerings by fire and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy. You shall eat it in the sacred precinct, inasmuch as it is your due and that of your sons from the Eternal's offering by fire, for so I have been commanded. But
Can I say something real quick? Oh.
Yeah, go right ahead.
One time in a commentary, I read another possibility that the rabbi speculated was that the sons died because of the fact that they may have been intoxicated also when they did that, which is why, like, right afterwards, they're told not to, like, that the priests can't go into the tent of meeting and perform their tasks while they're not supposed to have any.
So they weren't
anything.
in their right of mind.
We don't know that. I'm saying that that's a
yeah.
possibility, though. It is a possibility. We don't know that. There's
Okay.
nothing in there that says that they were. But
right.
but in other words, it's interesting that shortly after, they're instructed not to, drink or be
Right.
intoxicated.
Okay.
Throwing
So
it out there.
But the breast of elevation offering and the thigh of gift offering, you and your wife and your sons and daughters with you may eat in any pure place, for they have been assigned as a due to you and your sons from the Israelite sacrifices of well-being. Together with the fat of fire offering, they must present the thigh of gift offering and the breast of elevation offering, which are to be elevated as an elevation offering before the Eternal, and which are to be your due and that of your sons with you for all time, as the Eternal has commanded. Then Moses inquired about the goat of purgation offering. It had already been burned. He was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's remaining sons, and said, why did you not eat the purgation offering in the sacred area? For it is most holy and is what was given to you to remove the guilt of the community and to make expiation for them before the Eternal. Since its blood was not brought inside the sanctuary, you should certainly have eaten it in the sanctuary as I commanded. And Aaron spoke to Moses, see, this day they brought their purgation offering and their burnt offering before the Eternal, and such things have befallen me. Had I eaten purgation offering today, would the Eternal have approved? And when Moses heard this, he approved. The Eternal One spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying to them, speak to the Israelite people thus. These are the creatures that you may eat from among all the land animals. Any animal that has true hoofs with clefts through the hoofs and that chews the cud, such you may eat. The following, however, of those that either chew the cud or have true hoofs, you shall not eat. The camel, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is impure for you. The daman, although it chews the cud, what is a daman?
Another animal, I guess.
I'd never heard of that one. The daman, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is impure for you. The hare, although it chews the cud, it has no true hoofs. It is impure for you. And the swine, although it has true hoofs with the hoofs cleft through, though it does not chew the cud, it is impure. It is impure. Keep going.
I'm sorry.
It is impure for you. You shall not eat of their flesh nor touch their carcasses. They are impure for you. These you may eat of all that live in water, anything in water, whether in the seas or in the streams, that has fins and scales, these you may eat. But anything in the seas or in the streams that has no fins and scales, among all the swarming things of the water, and among all the other living creatures that are in the water, they are abomination for you. And an abomination for you they shall remain. You shall not eat of their flesh, and you shall abominate their carcasses. Everything in water that has no fins and scales shall be an abomination for you. That's why you're not supposed to eat lobsters.
Okay, okay, so Ruth, stop right here for a second. This is the beginning of the kosher laws. So what
Yes,
we,
I understand that. Yeah,
Right.
right.
okay,
right.
so you can do this, can do that,
Yeah, right,
These are the
right,
kosher laws right here.
right. The following you shall abominate among the birds. They shall not be eaten. They
That's a
are
diamond.
what?
That's a diamond.
Oh,
This
okay,
is a
thank you.
diamond.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. Okay.
I'm sorry, Annie, what does it look like? I couldn't see it.
Kind of like a cross between a squirrel and
Oh,
a like
Oh,
like
okay, okay. All right,
a
very good.
possum or
Okay.
something.
It looks kind of tasty. Oh. Hmm.
All righty. Anyways, let's get back to the text.
Don't eat it, Gary. Don't eat it.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
what it says is it says the damen, it's another word for it says it down here. The words rabbit, hare, coney, damen appear as terms for the hyrax in some English translations.
It's like a beaver or something. It looks like a
Yeah.
beaver.
Badger.
Yeah, it looks like a beaver. That's what it looks like. Okay, now I lost my place as usual.
Number 8, I
Uh,
believe. Yeah.
Oh, number 8, you shall not eat of their flesh nor touch their carcasses. They are impure for you. These you may eat of all that live in water. Anything in water. I already read that. So we're down to,
No, you didn't.
okay. Wait a minute. An abomination. Okay, so everything in water that has no fins and scales shall be an abomination. The following you shall abominate among the birds. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, the vulture, and the black vulture, the kite, the falcons of every variety, all varieties of raven, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, hawks of every variety, the little owl. I would never eat an owl. The cormorant and the great owl, the white, whoopsie, the white, whoa, the white owl, the pelican, and the bustard, the stork herons of every variety, the hoopoe and the bat. Well, I wouldn't eat a bat. Okay, where are we now? Okay, all winged swarming things that walk on fours shall be an abomination for you. But these you may eat among all the winged swarming things that walk on fours, all that have above their feet jointed legs to leap with on the ground. Of these you may eat the following: locusts of every variety. Boy, I could eat locusts. All varieties of bald locusts, crickets of every variety, and all varieties of grasshoppers. I didn't know that. But all other winged swarming things that have 4 legs shall be an abomination for you. I never knew you could eat grasshoppers.
only with chocolate.
Only with chocolate. And the following shall make you impure. Whoever touches their carcasses shall be impure until evening. And whoever carries the carcasses of any of them shall wash those clothes and be impure until evening. Every animal that has true hoofs, but without clefts, though the hoofs are that through the hoofs, or that does not chew the cud, they are impure for you. Whoever touches them shall be impure. Also, all animals that walk on paws among those that walk on 4s are impure for you. That means dogs and cats. Whoever, go up, whoever, whoops, you went too far. Oh, whoever touches their carcasses shall be impure until evening. And anyone who carries their carcasses shall wash those clothes and remain impure until evening. They are impure for you. The following shall be impure for you from among the things that swarm on the earth: the mole, the mouse, great lizards of every variety, the gecko, the land crocodile, the lizard, the sand lizard, and the chameleon. Those are for you the impure among all the swarming things. Whoever touches them when they are dead shall be impure until evening. And anything on which one of them falls when dead shall be impure, be it any article of wood or cloth or skin or sack. Any such article that can be put to use shall be dipped in water and shall remain impure until evening. Then it shall be pure. Well, that's interesting. Everything goes till evening and then it becomes pure. That's really interesting.
It's just a ritual. It's just a ritual.
Oh, okay. If
And
any
when
of
they
those,
do the paws, don't you think do you think that they mean like I would consider like tigers and big cats
Yeah, you
walking
couldn't
on
eat you.
paws?
Yeah, you can't eat big cats. They have paws too, right?
And bears,
Lions have paws.
Lions.
bear.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
lions.
But does
yeah.
it say you
Lions,
can't eat them,
tigers,
or it
and
just says you're
deers.
impure? Does it say that you can't eat them, or does it just say you're impure in the ritual sense if you have contact with it?
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Oh,
I
Well,
don't
that
think I want to eat a lion anyways.
okay, guys, I just got a text from Ed Weiner. To
Yep.
you, Gillette and Budo, sorry all, I am at the temple reopening committee meeting. Unfortunately, it is important that I be here, Dr. Weiner.
Okay,
tell
thank
him
you.
we miss him.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that information.
Oh, I
All right,
just
I
saw it
have
on
no
my
idea.
phone.
You keep on, I have no idea where I left off.
I'm here for you, Ruthie. Number 33.
Thank you. Okay. And if any of those falls into an earthen vessel, everything inside it shall be impure, and the vessel itself you shall break. As to any food that may be eaten, it shall become impure if it came in contact with water. As to any liquid that may be drunk, it shall become impure if it was inside any vessel. Everything on which the carcass of any of them falls shall be impure. An oven, a stove shall be smashed. They are impure, and impure they shall remain for you. However, a spring or cistern in which water is collected shall be pure, but whoever touches such a carcass in it shall be impure. If such a carcass falls upon seed grain that is to be sown, it is pure. But if water is put on the seed and any part of a carcass falls upon it, it shall be impure for you. If an animal that you may eat has died, anyone who touches its carcass shall be impure. I'm sorry. I gotta shut this off. Hold on a minute. Okay. Where was I? If such a carcass falls upon the seed grain that is to be sown, it is pure. But if water is put on a seed and any part of the carcass falls upon it, it shall be impure for you. If an animal that you may eat has died, anyone who touches its carcass shall be impure until evening. Anyone who eats of its carcass shall wash those clothes and remain impure until evening. And anyone who carries its carcass shall wash those clothes and remain impure until evening. All the things that swarm upon the earth are I can't say that word. Abomination.
Abomination.
Abomination. I lost my vocabulary. They shall not be eaten. You shall not eat among all things that swarm upon the earth, anything that crawls on its belly, or anything that walks on fours, or anything that has many legs, for they are an abomination. You shall not draw abomination upon yourselves through anything that swarms. You shall not make yourselves impure therewith, and thus become impure. For I, the Eternal, am your God, and you shall sanctify yourselves and be holy, for I am holy. You shall not make yourselves impure through any swarming thing that moves upon the earth. For I, the Eternal, am the one who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. These are the instructions concerning animals, birds, all living creatures that move in water, and all creatures that swarm on earth, for distinguishing between the impure and the pure, between the living things that may be eaten and the living things that may not be eaten. Here as off, oops.
That's
Was
it.
it?
That's
Okay.
it for this week. Ruthie, you did it. That's amazing.
Oh,
You and Cindy did it
That's a lot.
again. Wow.
Okay.
I was going to call on Braca, but Braca will wait till next week, I think.
I'm sorry, Braca. I'm sorry.
I haven't heard
I
Braca. in
dominated this time. I'm sorry.
So I'm just thinking, like, there's so many rules. How did they must have had some? I mean, were the priests the ones that would have to, impart the rules to everybody, and who would keep track? I mean, it would just. There's so many.
But
very-
you know something,
God kept
there's
track.
a
God kept
question
track.
about one of these things. I've heard this from conservative Jews. I'm not sure, but I have been told that some Jews that keep kosher will eat what is it, swordfish, because there's something about swordfish that has the fins, but there's Orthodox Jews that won't eat the swordfish. Does anybody know about the swordfish thing? Because the swordfish is a questionable one.
I'm Googling it right now. Hang on.
Okay.
Is swordfish kosher?
Yeah, but for some reason, the Orthodox don't eat the swordfish. I don't know why.
Let's look at this together. Is oh, Chabad would tell us. Is swordfish
Okay.
kosher?
Not
Swordfish is not considered kosher. Why? Because it does not have the kind of scales required.
Okay, so it has scales, but not the scale. Okay, this is why there's always been a question about swordfish. Because I remember since I was little, there was always a question when, as far as people that kept kosher, that they couldn't have the swordfish, and then the conservative people said you can have the swordfish. So I was just curious. It's just a curiosity thing.
Right. I mean, that would mean shark too, right? Shark would not have scales that can easily be removed.
Yeah.
They do have scales though, don't they? It's like
Yeah, sharks and swordfish are very similar, I gather.
So then they have all these other questions. Calamari, that's not kosher, right?
No, that's not kosher. It's a shellfish.
Sturgeon,
That's not kosher.
monkfish?
Any shellfish is not kosher. Scallops are not kosher, and all these are mussels. That's because they're all got shells in them.
Oh,
They're supposed to be, the reason why they say that is because they're supposed to be scavengers on the bottom of the sea, and they eat a lot of other things. That's why they're considered not kosher.
they're so pretty though.
I know, and they're so delicious, especially lobster. I know.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Well,
All right, anything else going on? Did everyone have a good Passover?
yes, we did. I did.
That's great. We had a great Easter, even though the
That's
last
nice.
song. Gary, did you hear the last song? I didn't mix it right. Oh my gosh, it was all.
Oh, it was great. No, it was great though. I love when with the choir when you and Jen were both doubled. That was great. But all the music was great though. Cynthia's family, Jen and Bob.
Oh yeah, yeah, Jen, yeah.
Choir.
Thank you. Yeah,
And Jen was great.
she did. She nailed it. She nailed it. Thank God. You know, and her and Raylene and also, what did you think of Joe's solo at the beginning?
Oh, he was great. Oh.
We always have to.
He
Have...
makes I mean, he is the highlight. His solo
That's
is
what I think too.
Oh,
and
You
I-
know, I
telling you.
wanted to tell you, Mike, that on Saturday night they did the full movie of the Ten Commandments, and I watched it on Saturday night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they did. They do it every year around Passover time, and it really, you know,
channel?
I know it's a Hollywood movie, but I still think it was done very well. That's my
That
personal
was
opinion. I know a lot
kind
of
of thought Charlton Heston was Moses, you know?
Yeah, I think he did a
was
great
really
job as
Moses.
Moses. I really did.
Yeah.
I really love, I love Edward G. Robinson. He's such a wicked, evil person. I love it. I love
Yeah.
how he plays that. But I just think I think it's such a wonderful movie to watch, especially at Pesach time. That's just what I feel. You know. Anyways.
What channel was it on, Ruth?
Oh, I think 5 or 4. One of the main networks. I can't remember.
Oh, was it? Wow. Yeah. I in fact, we went. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it all over the place, and we got
you
it.
can, I mean, you can watch it wherever, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying it was on the regular local national network.
Yeah.
I think it was
I-
5. It was on. I think it was a 5. I think it was
Yeah.
5.
It's an incredible movie. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
I think it was
yeah.
the most expensive movie of that era.
Yeah. Well, just
And-
think of all the extras they had to hire.
Oh my
The
gosh.
the thousands and thousands of extras they had to hire. I
They
mean,
did. They did.
Yeah, that was quite a movie. Yeah.
It really did a
Yeah.
good job. It was
Cecil
incredible.
B. DeMille, he wanted a big,
Yeah.
gigantic movie, and he got one.
And it was his last film that he did too. I read all
Oh,
about
was it
it.
his last? I didn't know that was his last. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
know that was his last.
because then he got ill a little after. I think he even
Oh, I
during the
didn't
making
know
of that film, I think he had a heart attack or something. But
Probably. I mean,
I think Brock
it
is
was-
trying to tell us something.
oh,
I
Brock,
want
are
to know
you?
if you can hear me.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. Yes.
Now we
Thank
can.
you. Thank you.
yeah. How are you?
What did you want to say, Bracha?
Thank God. No, I just enjoy so much being with you guys and listening
Oh.
to you.
Thanks, great. We enjoy your company too so much.
I'm back.
This was the photo that I wanted to show you. There's Ruthie. We were outside. That was a beautiful day. That was like the
Oh,
first-
yeah, I remember that day we went outside.
That
That's
was
right. I
beautiful.
remember that day. Yeah.
you know?
And Gary is the one sitting on the floor.
Yes,
Yes.
that's it.
We were just, it was a gorgeous day out. It was really a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It was beautiful.
So
Anyway.
all of you used to sing together.
Yeah, we used to dove in and sing together every Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Oh, how lucky you are.
yeah. It was. We Myrna put our, what did she do? She put, oh, oops, hold on. Myrna made she did an article on us, right, Gary?
Oh yeah, Myrna wrote a whole article about us in the newspaper. I don't think I saved it though.
So here's Myrna, here's.
Yeah, there's Myrna. Lots of pictures.
Weekly gathering.
Yeah, that was a nice little article she wrote about us.
That was
was-
great. I don't know where I got the kippah from. It was just somebody's, it was a beautiful one. It must
Three
be,
Zilba Beatles.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With God's base. And oh, that you had the Taylor. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, and you guys know that I videotaped an entire Saturday morning service, and I have it.
Really?
Cool.
Nice.
You
But
have
there's a
what?
whole
I didn't hear what he said.
Okay, I asked permission of both the rabbi as well as Gary.
Yeah.
And so one Saturday morning, I videotaped the entire service.
Oh, was I in there that day? I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. I'm going to have to take a look at it.
I'll have to remember. I don't know if I was there that day. I
But,
mean, I have missed some days, so yeah.
and because Shalom has such fantastic voice,
Yeah.
that particular video, he is singing. So,
Oh, that's nice.
we're all singing there. Remember that he was never there on time.
No, he never was on time.
And then about 10 minutes later, you can hear this voice getting louder and louder and louder. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
the door opens and there's Shalom.
Yeah.
Well, okay, guys, I need to leave, but it's been a pleasure seeing all of you. Todah Rabbah for everything that you do.
Okay, thank
Dr.
you too.
Mike.
Doc.